Hello, everybody. Welcome back to more Dordogne. Hope everybody is doing well. Everybody's chill. I'm excited to be back with this game. I see Merchants is already here. Hello and welcome, Merchants. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. I'm gonna give people a few minutes to make their way in before we get back in. But just as a recap for last time, we had gone to the market with our grandmother in the past, and I believe we were looking for the cat in the present. This game has been a pretty cute experience. Probably gonna wrap it up and finish it today, but, you know, we'll make the best of that experience. There is a chapter select, so if we do want to go back and revisit anything that we missed, we can do that. Not sure if I will or not. It'll depend on whether or not it has any additional effects. Hello and welcome, Natalie. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. Welcome, welcome. The pirate flag indeed. Nice. Enjoy your food. We'll be getting started shortly. Just giving people time to make their way here. Also, for the people who are here, nobody tell Il that I don't have tea today. So when Il asks what tea I have, I can shock him. They're gonna be so surprised. Watch today be a day Il doesn't show up at all. Just to cause chaos. So what's this game about? Dordogne is kind of a slice of life type game. We played it last week a little bit, and you're playing as a woman who is going through her past at this location at her grandmother's house. And she's going back and revisiting all the stories and memories associated with it to try to figure out some details between some of the stuff that happened in her family. And so it's kind of this back and forth between the present day where she's revisiting her family's home, which is going in Dordogne, which is going to be sold off, versus in the past where she's interacting with her grandmother and has all these memories that are not quite fully present, but she's trying to recall them. And so we're kind of going through that dual experience. Like that Black Mirror episode. Not quite Black Mirror-esque, but I could see why you're going to that episode. Yes. Also, hello and welcome, Jaguar. Always glad to see the kitty in a box. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. I read that as roar as lower like roar, and I was like, oh my goodness, another cat hides in kitty box. Jaguar got hyped. Nice. Let us... I think it's about time to continue. Yeah, we've been here for a few minutes. Hello and welcome, Jalix. Hope you're having a chill, lovely Sunday. Ah! You know, this is the important moment. The game wants me to make tea. You approve of the t-shirt color? Purple on top? Yeah. I'm rather fond of this t-shirt. I think this is where we left off. I didn't think we made it into the cave, but I could be mistaken. You can't be serious, Mimi. You need to find a job, not clean that cursed house. You can't be serious, Mimi. You need to find a job, not that cursed house. Come on. How did I get in here last time? I must have. Oh, that's right. The cat had the key, and we found the cat, and the cat had... Yeah. Jaguar says, also, explain to me why my phone tried to autocorrect merchants to Meredith. My phone trying to give everybody new IDs. We're gonna start going into Grey's Anatomy territory. Ya tu sabe. If Jaguar ever calls merchants Meredith, it wasn't me. Oh my god. Natalie says, subliminal messaging, perhaps? Don't worry, it's not Illuminate Mind Tech. No. We've been reassured by the Ministry of Truth that's not happening. That's where we gardened before the market. I remember now. Right, we had just covered the market. Oh, here we go. Cleaning's next Friday. That's my final word on the matter. Thanks, Dad. Not helpful. Your mother is worried. She can call me if she wants. Natalie says, I love the art style in this game. It's so pretty. No, yeah, we were talking about that last week a lot. The watercolors and the way they make everything pop is really gorgeous. Whenever you can get that kind of mix of, like, physical art mixed with, like, the digital medium of video games, it always ends up making something new and beautiful. Dear Nora and Edouard, I hope you won't mind me sending this letter. Edouard and I studied together for years before we parted ways, and I'm proud to call myself a friend of your family. As you requested, I met with Fabrice and discussed his military ambitions. I was extremely surprised to see how much he had changed over the years from the quiet little boy he was into the complex young man he is now. His academic record and results are solid, but I have my doubts that the military school he's applied for is best suited for his current state of mind. May I suggest the Boy Scouts are a place where he can focus on empathy and community? Take care of yourselves. I hope to visit your delightful house in Dordogne soon. Mark. Hello and welcome, Sam. Hope you're having a chill, lovely Sunday. Only people in the countryside have a room this big for just food. Pardon for the reaction, my dear Nora. 1,000 thanks for your visit in Mexico. We miss you terribly and your smile as well. As we discussed, I prepared for you a little package with gifts from my country, which I hope will make you want to come back. Careful with the chocolate, it's extremely bitter, an acquired taste. Before our meeting, I had doubts about my work and my agency, but your trip changed our life. Know that our home will always be open for you here in Mexico. Yours truly, Isadora and Mateo. What really happened between them and Nora and me that summer? Nope, we're putting on the kettle. Kettle in the sink. Oh, you don't gotta tell me how to make tea. Game's speaking my language now. The one day I actually don't make tea for the stream, the game is like, no, you're making tea today. Thank you, Nora, for sticking to old-fashioned kettles. Thyme smells so good. Oh, I don't want thyme. Orange peel, and is that sage? Maybe. White tea and rose. Yeah, we're gonna do white tea and rose. Why not? That's what we're gonna do. Okay, there we go. Okay, that was not an infuser, but we're gonna pretend it was. Nora wasn't easy either. Maybe that's what the issue. Two very strong personalities, and there's that thief. What happened? What happened exactly? Okay. Oh, put that in the mug. Pour the water in the mug. Achievement unlocked. Fill the mug without wasting water. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Tea's too hot for now. I'll drink that later. Time to check the attic. Find a way to get into the attic. Let's see. Natalie had said, I love when 2D drawn, but you can move in 3D. It's so clever to me. It really is. Especially because I think the 3D model that you're controlling ends up looking like it highlights it and contrasts it to the background very well. Jaguar says, it's Pride Month. I want to make Pride glad designs. Looks into bag, realizes I don't have all the colors necessary. or any of the flags. Ah, that's terrible. Natalie says, I'm sure they only sipped tea and nothing else happened. No, why would anything else have happened? Some of these books are quite vulgar, Nora. Now I understand how stupid I was. Every visit was me going through discovering and loving this place once again. The agency fired another copywriter today. Todd, the British guy. Lucky him. Such an awful place. Let me see if there was anything else downstairs before we actually make our way to the attic. And I'm not exactly expecting anything to change here, but I don't know. It's more when we're in the past that things are gonna change. Nora used to put the key right there. Funny how this key stayed there and that I grew up and this house hasn't changed as much as I have, I guess. Ah, yes, to be tall enough to reach the hiding places of adults.
So,
I did not expect that door to open inward. I expected it to open towards me. Hopefully the binder's in here. The binder or the box. I didn't know my grandparents were geeks. Did we use that word in 1982?
what?
Maybe back then it was normal to have an entire room for your own train set. Somebody had a special interest with trains. Look, there's even like a hand crank here to like raise this bridge here. That's... Jaguar corrected. I want to design some Pride nail art, but I don't want to have all the colors. I don't have all the colors I need. Well, I'm sure Meredith will be able to help you with that. Your phone seems to be on an autocorrect kick and really doesn't want you to be clear with us. Natalie says, then go get some nail polish pens. I'm a sucker for good nail art. Jaguar says, I'm like, I could do this flag or that flag if I substitute. I could do the non-binary flag if I leave out white and substitute yellow with the gold that I have. Well, substituting yellow for gold probably makes sense. But leaving out the white, I mean, would that work? Well, if you do end up doing it, maybe you could show it off if you're comfortable. Did I paint these? I don't remember. Dordogne. 11 August 1959. Nora, difficult week here. Kids agitated at school, a lot of tests to review. Fabrice ran away again. Found him at the station, waiting for a train. He didn't know where to go exactly, but he wanted to disappear. We talked as much as we could. You know how much he looks like me, but he kept quiet. I did too. On our way home, we stopped for an ice cream on a little beach near Rokagek. I thought of you because I know you would have found a way to pierce his thick skin. In a tree above our heads, a leaf was suspended, held up by a spiderweb. The leaf was curling on itself, but refused to touch the ground. I looked at it for so long, Fabrice saw me, and he stood up and ripped the leaf off and sat back down to finish his ice cream. Keep telling us your wonderful Mexican adventures. They're heartwarming. Your beloved, Edouard. Hello and welcome, King Cyrus. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. I hope you're doing well. Jaguar says, I keep saying I'm going to post my nail art on the Discord and then I never do. Well, maybe you should. Don't say you're going to do it, just do it. Natalie says, could use the default nail as the white and then make each nail a pretty pattern with each of the colors. Jaguar says, that's what I was thinking, but wasn't sure if I could make that work, but if someone else said it, I'm gonna do it. Don't let your dreams just be dreams. Oh man, who is it that was? Oh man. That's an old meme. Knowing my grandparents probably invented some sort of weird game. I'd better look around. There's gotta be a code or something. Enter the right code. I see summer, autumn, winter, spring. Yeah, someone clearly had a special interest for trains. That's all I'm saying. LaBeouf? Oh, right. Shia LaBeouf. Thank you, Jaguar. Tapes. Looks like they're quite important. Maybe they'll give me the code. Turn the tape holder. Let me check the device. It's summer, autumn, winter, spring. At least on that device. Autumn, winter, spring. Could be the code I need. Yeah, let's try it. Except I was putting the cassettes in. I did not see the code. Seven, 2, 4, 5. Hello and welcome, Il. Hope you're having a chill, lovely Sunday.
Of course.
Oh no.
Yeah, here goes nothing. Oh, here comes the train. This stuff is ancient and rings a bell. Now that's old school right there.
Here.
let's give it a listen. Let the memories flood back in. Back to the past. I still want to know what's completely up with Grandma and Dad, because those two did not get along.
Up, up, up. Yay.
Natalie says, the moment you find out your parent was autism all along, and it all makes sense. I mean, that's the funny thing, right? Like, a lot of the times, you'll get adults who are like, oh, no, 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 there's no signs of autism in the family. How could our kid have it? And then you look at the person who has, like, a massive cigar collection or a massive train collection, and, like, everything is so, like, immaculately organized, and you're just like, no, I can't possibly imagine where that came from. Brick collection. Like, I only, you know, my parent or whatever, say, has, like, every magazine organized perfectly from these 2 or 3 magazines they loved, and they have it completely sorted and collected like, come on. Jalek says my father loved model trains. King Cyrus says, true. Merchant says, model trains are so cool. They really are. Jaguar says, yes, Natalie, no one in our family had any sort of, quote, issue, or the older generation will be like, why does every young person have issues? But then they have XYZ list of things. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, just because they weren't diagnosed with anything, or they don't have an understanding of what goes into it, doesn't mean it wasn't present. And there are a lot of genetic factors with stuff like that. And when you've got that level of deep special interest and you've got it, like, really intently. Like, I don't know, I don't have it in me to paint an entire room to build a model train set. Like, that's not me. Jalek says, that's the most autism of autism, to be honest. My grandpa made a meticulously organized book collection, so there's plenty of autism on both sides of the friend. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But you'll get people like, oh, we didn't have that back in our day, and then, you know, just these weird special interests that were more socially acceptable. Being completely honest, I've noticed it's more common that it was accepted with men. So, like, when men had the train collection or the cigar collection or, you know, like a model car collection or something like that, it was just like, oh, that's just him being interested in guy stuff. And it's just kind of accepted. Especially amongst the older generation. Nobody's gonna believe me. You've collected a new table. There be gold. Cyrus says, exactly, it's interesting to see, not gonna lie. Merchant says, I'm quite pleased that I'll be able to spend this Sunday afternoon with you all. This is really nice. It really is. Look at that, like a real train. No, even better. What's that thing?
Yay!
Yay! Oh, I can record sounds with it. That's so modern. Maybe I could record the train. Cassette tapes are modern for her. That hits me right in the feels. Because I grew up with cassettes. Ooh, what are we recording?
Nice.
So lovely. I wish I could go back home by train. I should take a picture from this awesome place while I'm here. Let's bust out the camera. We gotta get a photo of the train when it comes back around. Oh, maybe against the landscape here. Maybe something with the hot air balloons.
Okay.
That's good.
Nice. Oh, sorry. The door was open and...
It's all right. This place is a very special place. Your grandfather and I used it to express ourselves. Since he passed away, I've kept it to myself. It's a bit like a temple, if you know what I mean. It's not good to do that, I think. Places, objects, they should have many lives, just like that tape recorder you found.
I should have asked.
Perhaps, but now it's yours. Would you like to come down and help me fix the kayak?
Yes!
Places, objects should have many lives.
Kayaking. Is that a real verb? Yes. Yes, it is. Take a look around before we go in. See if we can find any other... I did read on this bench. Quite refreshing in summer. I'm telling you, if I had a spot like this right near home, I'd probably just be hanging out around there. Of course, at the cat shrine. Oh, wow. Let me guess, you're gonna have a stone kitty statue? I might.
Okay.
soon I'll be kayaking. But before we go to the kayak, we have to keep exploring. Oh, it won't let me get in. Down to the town. Okay. Alright, I guess we can go repair the kayak now. Ready, Mimi? I think so. Come here, let's fix the kayak.
Mimi, extraordinary reporter. I am here in the cave to ask a question to my grandmother.
Oh, a reporter. What can I do for you?
Grandma, what is a trowel?
A trowel? A trowel is a small shovel. A hand shovel, if you want.
Perfect.
This one has a funny story, actually. Your grandfather bought it, and on the first day, he lost it. It stayed buried 6 months in the ground.
So how did you find it?
Well, I was preparing the vegetable patch with my trowel when I hit the other trowel he bought.
What a story. Thank you, Grandma. It was Mimi, extraordinary reporter.
That's cute.
It's recording. So, Edouard, tell us how you feel.
Tired, but fantastic. Tired because I just spent the last 4 hours listening to the most boring doctor ever. Fantastic because she had some good news for us. For once.
Full remission.
Damn.
Full remission. Full. Complete.
Which means we can start planning Christmas so we can have Mimi with us.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Can we stop the recorder?
Why?
I'm not feeling great. Can you stop the car, please?
Sure.
I'm gonna puke.
Damn. That just got heavy real quick.
Oh, you're in a jolly mood today.
I've been remembering our trip to New York, the Empire State Building and all that.
That was a nice break from here.
You couldn't stop thinking about your garden and the flowers.
Yes, I could. Maybe I did a little.
I wish Fabrice could have come with us. He loves the States so much.
Spending 2 weeks with his parents in a small hotel room in Brooklyn was probably not his dream holiday.
Well, it saved us from a couple of arguments, and,
What?
No, nothing. I was just thinking that I missed him. Even if he does have your personality.
Oh, yes, he... Wait, what are you implying?
Nothing.
Come back here. So, ladies and gentlemen, the train will soon leave the platform.
Honey, do you know where my... What are you doing?
I'm recording a message for the train.
Oh, that's a great idea. Why are you looking like I'm catching you cheating on me?
I don't know. It felt silly to do it.
Edouard, my love, everything we do is silly. You run a toy train, I sketch impossible buildings. It's called retirement.
It's not exactly retirement, and you know it.
To me it is. Finally spending time with my husband and my son.
What were you looking for?
My fountain pen.
The one in your front pocket?
My front Oh. Yes, that one.
Can you imagine how miserable we'll be without these?
These what?
These sounds. Listen to this engine, how it purrs.
Yeah, dude is
Edward,
kind of obsessed
get
with the
your
trains.
head out of that exhaustion pipe or it will fill your empty skull. What are you doing?
Recording this engine's rumble.
Recording a truck engine. In the middle of the most gorgeous poppy field you've ever seen?
These engines are disappearing, Nora. I've got to save...
Right. We played that last time. And we did that one last time. Okay. We'll start by fixing these holes. We wouldn't want you to drown. No. We use glue to fix the wood.
Okay.
If only it were that simple.
So. Okay.
Where did you learn to do all that? Mom isn't very good with tools and stuff. I enjoy it. It's as simple as that. I meant someone must have taught you how to do stuff. I don't like to be dependent on anyone, so I learned. I taught myself. I wish I could be like you when I'm older. I hope you'll become yourself, sweetie. Now the most important part, let's paint this beauty. Paint? Of course, it's yours, so it should have your colors, your style. You need more paint, sweetie. I do need more paint. Sometimes I wish I could just glue back people together. Like Grandpa and Dad. Like, yeah. But it's too late now, and nobody can fix that anymore. It's all good. She's ready. Let's get her down to the river. I'm so excited. Where are we going? There's a small bench further down. You can't miss it. A beach, rather. A beach? Keep the boat steady at all times. The Dordogne is a very quiet river, but you never know. Yes, I promise. That has to be so exciting. Let me catch up with chat quick. Jaguar says, I remember my first music cassette tape of my favorite music group back in the day. I used to listen to it over and over, and then they used to come with the little foldable jackets with the lyrics. Oh my god, I remember those. The ones that you used to fold out of the front of the cassette. And it would slide behind the cassette when you put it away. Jaguar says, I also remember I used to have the cassette of the messages from the answering machine. I used to play it over and over from time to time, especially with my favorite family members. Natalie says, girl, he's cheating on you with trains. It's true. The dude was obsessed with trains and motors and all sorts of things. Meanwhile, she was very clearly a nature person. Jaguar then says, I was fascinated with how a landline could be hooked up to a machine and it could be set up to record. How did it work? Yeah, and that same landline ended up becoming how we got the internet. Which is even more wild when you think about it. That we were able to have the earliest internet based off of phone lines. And the transmission of data through phone signals. And Cyrus says a fountain pen. Natalie says, she calls you sweetie. Indeed. No, I enjoy the relationship between these two. It just makes me wonder what the hell happened between her and the father. Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay, I was wondering if it was gonna have me paddle, like that? No, but you could just push forward. That's very generous of the game to not make me actually paddle. I'm sitting here ready to Sea of Thieves style start rowing this boat. Jaguar says, and when you get the CDs for internet minutes. Oh my goodness, the AOL CDs. Natalie says sometimes I wish these gamer boys were on dial-up. Someone calls their as they're trash talking, they get booted offline.
And now, the weather
That
forecast
would
for
be
the
something,
southwest.
wouldn't it?
The next few days will continue hot and sunny, with temperatures up to 36 degrees Celsius. Enjoy it while it lasts.
36C?
That's a low pressure area that
Damn.
might be heading our way.
Ah, this feels good.
That's right. This feels good.
You were right, Grandma. Napping is good. Napping is life. Napping is life. People should be able to nap more often. Raise the left leg. Raise the right leg. Get up. I kind of like that because there are those moments where you're just like, I'm so comfortable, like I have to really think about like moving specific parts of my body to get myself moving.
Whoa there.
Oh no. We need to pick all that up. Can you help me, Mimi? Of course. Collect the basket that flew away. The fact that they were able to animate this water like this. I wonder if like the water's still being done with watercolors, but like animated somehow. Time to change into swim gear. Oh, the water's so good, she's missing out. The water's better than Sea of Thieves, baby. Fortunately, they just have to do a pre-rendered thing as opposed to those crazy waves. And I think I found our things. Sarah says, you get what game is epic and beautiful? Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is one of those games that is so mysterious if you take any bit of time to think about what's going on. Like, if you don't just mindlessly play through that game, you get this, like, moment where you're constantly questioning what your character is doing and realizing the experience of what they're going through this beautiful landscape, finding these creatures and essentially slaughtering them all for kind of a selfish purpose, really. Like, you kind of realize you're not playing as a good person in that game. And yet, somehow, the landscapes, the riding on horseback, the creatures themselves, the world that's built around it is so beautiful. And I know there was like a huge movement back in the day with gaming to find and see if there might be a secret Colossus somewhere out there, or, you know, in the game world, that maybe would like change the ending or change the experience. And there were all these like mountaintops that people tried to get on top of, and buildings and structures that they tried to climb up using like the highest levels of grip and all that. And the fact that you have such dynamic control of your character to be able to grip onto enemies and like climb them and move around, just seriously beautiful game. You were one of them? Yeah, so was I. You know what game tried to be a spiritual successor to that I really enjoyed what I've played of it? There's a game, I forget who developed it, but it's called Pray to the Gods. Let me see who the developer was. And they tried to make like a spiritual successor to Shadow of the Colossus. Except Prey is spelled Praey. No Matter Studios, that was it. Came out in 2021. Where you got this, like, snowy landscape, and they kind of mixed elements of Breath of the Wild with Shadow of the Colossus, and they did a really good job with it. Cyrus says, that was before all the third-person Epic games. To me, we wouldn't have God of War games without Shadow of the Colossus. You're probably right. I think like games like Breath of the Wild would not have come about without Shadow of the Colossus. That game was highly influential. Come on, let's go home. I'll get the kayak ready.
Mimi, what's wrong?
I think I saw something in the forest. Can I go and have a look?
It was probably just a cat, but go on. No problem. Have a good time.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
I mean, so what if it was just a cat? all the more reason to go investigate. I want to see the cat.
Yay!
Cyrus says, my favorite game is Metal Gear Solid 3, 3, 4, and Phantom Pain is probably my favorite. I mean, the Metal Gear Solid series probably has one of the best examples of demonstrating a lot of the political realities of the 20th century and into the 21st century. Kojima was a genius with all that. My one gripe with that series is the fact that I wish he could have done it without being so blatantly sexist with a lot of stuff. And 3's a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned in terms of gameplay. But like that's when he started kind of getting really weird with it. 2 had a few moments, but 3 was a little weird in certain moments, especially looking back.
Whoa.
Jaguar says, someone say cat, there will always be cats in the game. I remember the game you had to go around petting all the cats. I always remember a game that made our cousin cat, the raccoon cat. You're talking about the Cat Cafe manager? Cyrus says, modern games, it's Bioshock Infinite and Bioshock games. I feel weird playing Bioshock Infinite, as that game basically predicted MAGA. That kind of makes me want to go back and play it. I actually never played the Bioshock series. I know it's supposed to be good, and I know a big part of it had to do with not mindlessly doing what you were told to a certain degree. They're remaking Metal Gear Solid 3 with Metal Gear Solid Delta, right? That's still happening? I'm looking forward to it. I'm also gonna be honest, like, I know this is probably...
Whoa.
I don't know the word for it, right? But there's something about Quiet's game design that has prevented me from playing 5. And the way that she's depicted. And I know that there's, like, a whole bunch of reasons in-game lore why she doesn't talk and why she has the outfit that she has. But it always felt real convenient to me that they specifically chose to have a woman dress like that. Why not have Miller dress like that? Or Ocelot? And I say that as somebody... Ooh. Uh-oh. And I say that as someone who's fascinated by the boss's story and wants to know more, and wants to go through that experience of the Phantom Pain and all that, but... every time I go to attempt it and I see that design, I'm just like... It's the same thing with Ava in 3 having that, like, exposed outfit, like, straight down her middle where she didn't zip it up. The only character I can even partially excuse it for is when the boss shows off her scar in 3. Because that scar is so important to so much of the series. And I really wish they would manage to get 4 on modern hardware. Because having 4 locked behind the PlayStation 3 is kind of frustrating. Like, we need a 4 remaster more than we need a 3 remaster. 3 is still viable on several relatively modern consoles.
This is... wow. Beautiful.
That is beautiful.
I should take a picture.
What are you doing here? This is my patch. No one's allowed.
You're the thief from the market.
I'm not a thief. Never see that word again. I'm just borrowing.
Borrowing? That's not...
They'll get their things back, and more, as soon as I find the Culebre's treasure.
the Coulebre.
A giant dragon that sleeps at the bottom of the Dordogne, guarding a big treasure.
Enough to pay back the people from the market?
Enough so everyone will like me. You'll see.
Do you need help? To find the treasure, I mean?
Help? You're from the city, right? How could a city
I
help
thought
me
it too,
find the
King
Coulebre?
Cyrus. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm an explorer.
Ha! Don't make me laugh.
If I wasn't an explorer, I wouldn't have climbed up here by myself.
Fine. Fine. Well, maybe I should test you.
Test?
There's a puzzle in here. Solve it. And I'll decide if I can trust you, city girl. But first, catch! What on... Mimi? Are you alright?
Don't worry, I'm fine! What is wrong with you? He's gone.
Let's meet in my secret lair tomorrow. If you solve my puzzle!
I'll show him. He'll see if I'm not an explorer. Yay!
Wait, can I go around and dive off the... Now, where did that bag land? Ooh. Okay. Why don't you come back to the beach and get dressed?
Yay!
Are we leaving soon? Yes, time to head home. What did you do out there? I explored this whole mountain. Every rock, every bush. Delightful. So, how did you find this spot? Pretty nice, isn't it? It's beautiful out here. I'm so glad you like this place. I would never want to leave, ever. You know, I used to come here often with your grandpa and your dad. I miss him. It feels crazy to say that, but I miss him. Don't say crazy, and I think I understand what you mean. Your father is a... You know what? Let's just enjoy the moment together. Let's go home, shall we? Yeah, I'm too tired. Great. I forgot to buy eggs for dinner tonight. I'll go to the neighbors to get some. I'll be right back. What are you gonna do while I'm there? I want to do my binder. Really good idea, sweetie. Now that I'm alone, let's see what that dirty thief wants from me. Alright, what is this puzzle you want me to solve?
So,
Take everything out. Instructions. And stickers. Probably for this map. Let's read this little note. Step 1. Put the stickers in the right location. Alright.
okay. 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 Okay.
Done. What's next? Step 2. Connect certain stickers and reveal my layer where the lines cross. First line, stones cannot fly. Almost there now. Second line, across the bridge you'll find my house. Found you, thief. Circle where the two lines cross.
Here it is.
It's here, the thief's lair. Easy, a baby could solve this. Now, I need to tell the thief I solved this puzzle. Should I climb to the top of the tree and try to call him? Wait, what emoji puzzle? Oh, I just saw that. I see a gear and a box. So that's gotta be a Metal Gear Solid reference. Told you I was an adventurer. Well done. I'll be there tomorrow. We can discuss the Cobre. Great. Good. Now I know where to go tomorrow. I ought to climb down now. Better hide the map here, and then I can do my binder page. Mimi, dinner time. I'm actually having trouble seeing the thing. Let me bring this over here. What is it? Metal Gear Snake in a Box. Is that what it is? What a day, wow. Chapter 5, The Caves. I'm pretty sure Nora left it right where it was. Solid snake sneaking around in a box. In a box. Stuck in the metro, just tired of the city, dreaming about running around in that cute little house of yours in Dordogne. Wait, it is your house now, isn't it? In the process of finding out. I did the voice too. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have the ability to do David Hayter's voice. Unfortunately, that lowness is outside of my range. How about watercolor facts? I don't know anything about watercolor, so I had to look it up. Otacon, what the hell's going on? Mornings must be spectacular. Live right from your bed. Live right from your bed. Jaguar says, according to the site, watercolors were first developed in China and were painted on wood. This arm. Oh my god. Liquid ocelot. On silk and wood. Okay, that makes sense. Well, hello, dear brother. I live inside this all. That was the silliest thing. I know it had a plot significance, but still. Otacon then proceeds to give you a college-level lecture on what's going on. It's like, no joke, I find the funniest thing, Miller kind of takes the spot in the big boss stuff. Well, that makes a lot of sense that Miller would do that, especially because, I mean, there's a reason that, Liquid is able to impersonate Miller in the first game. I don't even know how would you even do an Otacon voice? Well, you see, Snake. Like, it's kind of like... I don't even know how you do that. Back in the 1950s, there was all sorts of strange stuff happening that involved the US and Soviet relations. And that's why, in the 1990s, this is happening to you. Like, he goes on a whole spiel, like, about, like, 3 decades of geopolitical history. I remember the herbal tea she would prepare. Sweet smell, bitter on the tongue, delicious. And then Snake's basically just like, that's great, Otacon, but how do I get into the building? Oh, for that, you just use the key card. Cyrus says, I hate when movies give expository stuff. I feel like with movies, you have to strictly follow a show, don't tell philosophy. You don't have the runtime wasting on telling people things. I feel like with video games, you can exposit through the medium of telling a lot easier, especially because you can make that experience happen afterward. Games have the luxury of time, plus they have the ability to tell the story through the gameplay. So they can tell you something like, hey, you need to watch out for this thing that's happening, and then the thing happens, and you're playing through it. Though I do have to say that one of the advantages to video games, when it comes to telling stories, is that you have the ability to feel it on a more visceral level than any other medium. And I will never stop thinking about, I think it was Sequelitis back in the day that had made something, like, it was some YouTube thing, I think it was called Sequelitis, where they covered Mega Man X. And they cover the very first boss fight you have against Vile. And it's talking about how through the gameplay you feel Mega Man's helplessness because you can't win that fight. You don't know if you're doing damage. You don't know what's going on. You don't know why you can't seem to beat this guy. You could be playing perfectly, and you're just sitting there like chipping away damage and it's doing seemingly nothing. And that's one of those things that video games can express that I don't feel like any other medium has the capacity to do so. To express the feelings of having to make you do something that the character's doing. Of being a part of that intimate moment, whether it be good or bad or otherwise. you'll feel the failure. And so it doesn't feel like Mega Man needs to figure it out, but it feels like you need to figure it out. You know? And so I think when it comes to those type of gaming experiences, of figuring things out for yourself, of exploring the world around you, of coming into contact with things that make you do things that cause emotional reactions. It's just something that you can't find anywhere else. Cyrus says, this is why I feel like horror games, especially first-person ones, make me actually scared. Though I feel movies and games in terms of horror function kind of the same. I could see that. With all the seeds buried under there, something beautiful is gonna come out one day. I'm worried about you. Come home, please. I want you to be happy. I love you. Love you too. So leave the house for me. Nope. Not gonna do it. Reading some more of the facts that Jaguar has provided. One of the original ingredients of watercolors was honey to allow it to stay semi-liquid for long enough. Pigments and gum. Arabic is... Arabic? Is that correct, or is that auto-corrected? Jaguar says watercolor is transparent, though apparently there is opaque watercolor that is sold for adverts, but it's considered a different medium. Watercolors dry up 50% lighter after using it when painting. Cyrus says jump scares in gaming make it more panicked because you're controlling a character and it's like react now. Yeah, anything that can produce that react now fight or flight response is doing its job. But I'm even talking about something where like you're playing as a morally ambiguous character, or you're playing as a character that's, say, corrupted by something, and you're forced to do an action that is like antithetical to what you or the character itself wants, something like that. Like imagine a game where you have been controlled by something, and the game is literally forcing you to, say, attack somebody that your character cares about and that you've developed a connection with. And all of a sudden, like, you're locked into this no-choice scenario where literally as the player, you're left with two options. Either do the thing or close the game. But because we're playing the game and because we accept the rules of the game, we will allow ourselves to perform that role and to do the thing. And by doing it, we kind of accept it and go through it. Like by forcing player through certain choices, even choices that like are uncomfortable. Like, even something like this game that I'm playing right now, where it has me, like, slowly moving things to open things and close things. Like, that, I feel like, brings a certain intimacy to the experience that a movie could literally never touch on. And that's not to say movies aren't good or anything, just... it's a very different medium and experience. King Cyrus says that's literally what happened with Batman Arkham Knight when Batman was made to kill Joker in his hallucinations. Yeah, and you played through that, right? Like, you were the one who did that. So it didn't feel like Batman necessarily did that, like, you did that. And it's wild that we're able to have that experience, and I just wonder how, as gaming advances, as VR is developing more and more, how much more that line is going to get very blurry between the medium and the player. Also, Jaguar, I am gonna read your facts. I will get back to it. Or no, you only have one more line. Gum arabic is a gum extracted from the trees used as a binder. I did not know that. Thank you. Cyrus says, man, did I hate Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I didn't get into that. I heard atrocious things about it, and I kind of avoided it. Thank you for the fun facts, Jaguar. Hey, Manuela. My name is Mimi. I'm 7 years old, and I'm writing from the garden of my grandmother, Nora. She told me she was going to translate the letter into Spanish, a language you understand. I speak only French, even if my father wants to move to a faraway country because he thinks Paris is crazy. Sometimes he shouts at other drivers, and I find it very funny. My grandmother Nora says she knows your parents and that you live in Mexico, a very colorful city. I would love to visit another city than Paris or Sarlat. I love your city already because it has an X in it, and it's a letter I love. That is such a little kid thing. I love your city because it's spelled with an X in it. That's like so cute. I must leave now. We are going to a cave with very old drawings. My father loves everything old. Maybe not Nora's house. Maybe my father doesn't like houses. See you soon, Mimi. Everyone calls me that. Ooh, we made it together with Nora. This rings a bell.
What?
There must be something interesting in here. Oh. Aubrey. Cyrus says the premise of the story was terrible, not because of the whole folk stuff that these losers were complaining about. Yeah, for sure. Grandma should be calling me by now. Where is she? I feel like with that game, what I've heard, and again, I haven't played it, is they kind of like shat on the legacy of the Arkham series, and that's kind of a rough thing. When that series was so beautifully done. Cyrus says to the folks saying Superman can't have a good game, really say that Rocksteady, who used 2 of Superman's arch nemesis in one game, having Brainiac be the main villain and basically vampirize Superman's mythos. I feel like Superman is one of those games, like if they were to make a proper Superman game, you either need to make him vulnerable enough to certain things, and I feel like that's a line that they have trouble walking, where you have to make him vulnerable enough without making him too vulnerable, while at the same time making it chaotic enough that his attention is diverted, but not so messy and chaotic that the player can't handle it. And it's kind of rough when... It's a rough balance to strike, but I feel like there is that balance there. Sounds like Grandma's downstairs. But yeah, I think before we head into the rest of this chapter and we explore the childhood side of chapter 5, this might be a good time to take a break for a little bit. So I'm going to be back in, let's say, 10 minutes, and we'll continue on from there. This has been a really good chat about gaming and everything, but I will be back in a few. And we'll hopefully have some more good talks. Alright, everybody, I think we are back. Let's switch over to that. Yep, and we're back. Yes, Jaguar, thank you for reminding people to go get water. I forgot to do that. Gangle says, have you watched My Adventures with Superman? I like its portrayal of Superman and the character dynamic, and I'm not really a fan of the demographic, but I like it. Yeah, I've not actually watched it. But if you recommend it, I will definitely check it out. Also, hello and welcome, Gangle. I am looking forward, by the way, to the Superman movie. It's not bad at all. It's a great show. For sure. I know there was a big issue that everyone was having with him flinching in the trailer when he gets hit by something. I vaguely saw something about that. Cyrus, do you know what that's about? Third week. Time really flies. Like in one of the trailers, he flinched when he got something thrown at him. And then they fixed it. And then other people got frustrated with it. Okay, I felt like people were just making a big deal about him potentially flinching. Like, oh, Superman's not supposed to flinch when he's hit. Oh, but he's flinching because of the emotional reaction. It's like, guys, calm down. It really looks like James Gunn's doing a good job. Which I can't even be surprised with after the Guardians of the Galaxy series was as good as it was. I just hope we get a version of Superman who truly speaks to the times. And I think we're going to be very pressed to see a version of... I'm going to be impressed, rather, to see a version of Superman that isn't a Dr. Manhattan ripoff, that's one. But also is standing up for an ideal that I don't think necessarily matches what a lot of people expect from him. It's gonna be kind of calling back to the old school ideal, rather where he's a protector of innocent life and someone who puts his body on the line as a shield and who is caring and compassionate and empathetic, as opposed to big strong muscle guy who does muscle things and blocks bullets and is basically impervious to damage. Superman that's like, yeah, I stopped a war. Exactly. I've seen that in the new trailers where he's like, yeah, I stopped a war, and they're like, yes, but you violated international law to do it. I'm feeling very hopeful with that little kid who raises the Superman flag in the trailers also. It's one that I want to see. And Superman's never exactly been my favorite, hero, but I really feel like James Gunn's gonna get it right. King Cyrus says Superman's meant to be, in my opinion, the opposite of toxic masculinity. He's supposed to be the antithesis of it. That's why I was drawn to him as a character. Yeah. I could see that. Could be a nice place to hide or to hide something. No, I get the appeal, especially the version of him that... It's kind of the more old school version of him on some level, because I feel like his character has devolved over time and lost a lot of its focus and purpose. An empathetic immigrant who comes in and finds strength in, at the time, the American character, but I don't know if that's true anymore, you know? And I really hope that James Gunn does that part justice, where he's not just that line, the truth, justice in the American way. I hope it is something far deeper than that.
Okay. Nice.
Because I feel like the ideals he's supposed to stand for are more than just nationalistic. King Cyrus says, this is a guy who would give you a hug and smile, and that wouldn't bother him. Like Martian Manhunter called him the immigrant from the stars that taught us how to love and hope for a better world. Which is also interesting coming from Martian Manhunter, because Martian Manhunter is always othered in a very bizarre way in the comics and in the shows. And sometimes I feel like he's treated more alien than Clark is, even though Clark is technically from a much further away place.
I was so carefree, off to meet a 10-year-old thief. I feel like I'm remembering someone else's life.
Sometimes childhood feels like that, too. Lex Luthor crashing out in the movie will be funny there. Do you think they're going for a straight up Elon Musk style crash out for him? Like, they have to be, right? Cyrus says, I'm sure that's what they're going for, because Lex is, like Matt, he's getting the world's attention. Why is he getting the support and I'm not? This should be the right place, I think. I can't see anything. I'm gonna need something to light the way. Find a way to light up the galleries. You collected the jar. Sarah says James Gunn's Lex Luthor is the Reed Richards level smart version of Lex Luthor. He said in interviews he wanted to go back to the Golden Age Lex Luthor with the mad scientist. I mean, that makes sense. You've unlocked a new location. The adventure begins. He liked to compare him to like Doctor Doom fused with Reed, which is interesting that you have Fantastic Four coming out this year also. And Doomsday coming out soon.
Whoa.
On the Marvel end of things. It'll be interesting to compare the two. Yeah, you still there? Yeah, why are you lost, city girl? Dr. Doom has you worried because of Robert Downey Jr.'s casting. I feel like what they're going to do with Doom, and I don't have, like, obviously the information to back this up, but I feel like, do you remember that line that Tony Stark used about how he wanted to encapsulate the world in a suit of armor? I feel like either on a multiversal level, we're gonna get another version of Tony Stark who is going to end up putting the suit of armor around himself and becoming Doom by trying to build that suit of armor around the world. That possibly in the universe that's tied to Multiverse of Madness, that you're gonna, you know, where the Illuminati was depicted, you're gonna get, like, some sort of Doctor Doom, Reed Richards things happening there, too. Because Reed Richards there was, you know, completely wrecked by Wanda. So I could totally see Doom doing something over there. And Doom is always depicted in a very weird light anyway. Because he's a villain for sure, but like, there are moments where he rises against deeper villains. I'm just very concerned with it all as well. I don't believe you've never gotten lost. Never? I mean, no, never. Guess you meet my flying friends. Cyrus says, I already know they're doing the Hickman run of Secret Wars, but what annoys me is just the loss of familiarity between Doom and Reed. But I get it's the MCU. Yeah. They're gonna... So they're going the route of what, what is it, Battle World?
I'm not a thief.
I also feel like they're going to set up a thing where the X-Men are gonna be the villains at some point. You know, you're gonna get Avengers versus X-Men because that's classic. But, like, I'm not gonna lie, this whole current run of the Avengers does not feel earned the way that they did with the first one. I actually think they did a better job with Thunderbolts than they're doing with the Avengers. Cyrus says, I think they're doing a soft reboot, and I have a feeling they're going to do this to reboot the MCU to include the X-Men universe. Yeah, I think at the end of everything, you're going to end up seeing a merged universe, where you're going to have the origin story of the Fantastic Four, you're going to have the origin story of the X-Men, you're going to have X-Men existing as if they've always been in the MCU. Are you angry? Like they'll retcon. Basically, they can just retcon things. Penalty free because the universes are gonna merge. Well, supposedly there was some stuff with the Thunderbolts where the original script was supposed to make John Walker the villain. Like, I don't want to spoil that movie because it's fully out, but like, it's very recent still, so I don't want to spoil it on here, but there was a character that should have been in the movie with more screen time than there was, and I think if you've seen the movie, you know who I'm talking about. And the original plot was supposed to have a lot more of, like, commentary on toxic masculinity. That was supposed to be tied to John Walker, which I think made certain sense with the whole plot, and who ended up being more of the villain. Like, you could have worked around that a lot better. And yeah, I agree with Jaguar. I hope the James Gunn version of Superman goes back to the original ideas. You don't know me. Cyrus says, I really don't want to see that unless they have good political commentary with the X-Men fighting the Avengers. I always side with the X-Men, sorry. Well, I mean, the X-Men have always been the outcast allegory. They've always been the queer allegory. They've always been a representation of those who are outcast by society. The Avengers were always a group of people who, with very few exceptions, had the luxury of being in the spotlight. And not for nothing, it always was very weird to see how Captain America would be depicted as this great hero of justice and so benevolent, and then when it came to the X-Men, he would just drop the ball completely. Like, all of a sudden, mutants don't deserve any compassion. Never made much sense to me in that regard. Which is also funny because, you know, you'd get mutates like Spider-Man, who they're just like, yeah, you're totally welcome, but if it's a natural thing, screw you. Like... Dragon! It's a dragon! Say hello to the Coolbray. Legendary. Come on, Mimi, hurry up.
Thanks for your help.
I thought you were a great explorer.
I am. Wow, this is very, very cool.
I know. These are things I collected through the years. And you haven't seen anything yet.
Yay!
Are you talking about an X-Men 97, Cyrus? With Cyclops' change in behavior and not just following Xavier? Or are you talking about the comics? These bottles are also beautiful. They all seem to make different sounds if you touch them. I wonder if Renaud plays any instruments. Mom wanted me to learn piano, but the teacher said I talk too much. More like the comics, Cyclops basically adopted Xavier and Magneto's ideas in one. I feel like later versions of Magneto and Cyclops have a lot more in common than Xavier. Renaud likes books too. Legends and fairy tales. Must be research. Oh, Renaud also has some Asterix comics. Dad hates them. Le Petit Nicolas. That's for babies. That's the dragon you want to find. I want its treasure. What is the Coolbray anyway? It's a creature that sleeps at the bottom of the Dordogne River. It eats boats, sailors, fishermen. Scary. How big is it? It's as long as the Dordogne. It's gonna be hard to catch. Why don't you take the book with you so you could study the color? That's a good idea. Thanks, Renaud. Eventually, Xavier was like, yeah, you're right with the Krakoa stuff with Magneto. Yeah, but Xavier takes way too long to, like, grasp the reality of what things are. I know, like, early depictions of Magneto have him in a more stereotypically villainous role and have him, like, cast in a very negative perspective. But the more we get into the nuance of Magneto and the reality that the X-Men find themselves in, with humans constantly picking the fight, Magneto ends up becoming more and more sympathetic over the years. And Xavier ends up looking kind of naive and delusional. I think Cyclops does a much better job in the later depictions, which is also funny because in the original X-Men comics, and I'd say in the cartoons, X-Men, Cyclops was probably one of my least favorite characters. He came across like this annoying jock character in a lot of the cartoons and did not click with me at all. And I don't feel like they captured his character very well in the cartoons. That's the best spot in the whole of the Dordogne. Because I need the best lookout to track the colibri. From up here, I could scout the whole river. Cyrus says, I know for a fact that Magneto would never help the Israeli government in Israel with his ideology. No, because... And the way that they would cover that, is like, the way you could so easily express that is to show the Israeli government ending up attacking Palestinian mutants. And I can definitely hear Magneto making comments about how lost people like him have become. How some people who were of his ancestry and background have lost their way just the same. And how humans keep doing this. I mean, that's the route I would go if I was trying to depict that realistically.
Okay. So. Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense to you,
Awesome.
Cyrus. Cat.
Well, I have something even cooler.
Cooler than this? You have books, fishing rods, and a wonderful view. This is truly remarkable.
Look at this beauty. I can cheat in class, and I can even store 10 phone numbers. 10!
No way. Can I see it?
No, you can't. It's a gift from my teacher.
Oh.
But it's a secret. You can't say a word to anyone, okay?
You're very lucky, Renaud. And I won't tell a soul.
Thank you, Mimi. That means a lot.
Cyrus says people don't understand at all the relationship between Scott and Jean Grey, which annoys the hell out of me. Folks pushing Logan, likely Jean annoys me. I'm sorry. I think, again, the cartoons do a really bad job of depicting the relationship between Scott and Jean Grey. Because every single depiction in the cartoons between the original X-Men run and X-Men Evolution depicts them as if they were some sort of, like, stupid high school-esque romance that doesn't have the meaning that they try to portray in the comics. Sam also says, I'm pretty sure Xavier wouldn't be on the side of Israel either, although his ethics might get in the way of contributing his contribution being effective. That's the thing, though. He would kind of probably want to be like, let's just, you know, make peace and let's not do anything rash or anything like that. Like, Xavier's perspective comes across as, in a modern sense of things, very naive. And I feel like Magneto's character has moved since the original run of the comics from being this, like, very obviously evil, genocidal maniac, basically, into a very rational counter argument to Xavier that has a lot of merit and a lot of value to it. They've moved the Magneto character a lot along the spectrum, right? They haven't touched Xavier at all. Xavier is always going to be in that milquetoast. Well, mutants and humans can just get along one day, and we'll be able to figure it out, and everything's going to be awesome. It's only very, very recently in the comics that he has changed that perspective, where he's kind of pushed into maybe we have to kind of have some sort of separatist space. But how many times did Magneto have to build another space for it to get attacked before Xavier was like, let's finally do it? It didn't work with the space station. It didn't work with Genosha. And finally it worked with Krakoa, but kind of too late. King Cyrus says it's funny because how many Cyclops and Jean Grey's kids come from the future. I've never seen a single Logan and Jean kid from the future. Genosha was a massacre. I mean, but you know what the funny thing to me about Krakoa is? Sinister was willing to put stuff aside for that. Didn't you get Sinister and Apocalypse working together with them? Like, it took that for Xavier. Like, Xavier needed to be moved by having, like, a society that had the likes of Emma Frost, Magneto, him, Apocalypse, and Sinister all working together. That's what finally moved Xavier. Like, come on. It's just a little bit too late. True, Jaguar. True. How about... like... I have a hard time accepting that Sinister isn't evil anymore. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's me, but I have an easier time buying the Apocalypse thing than Sinister. Because at least Apocalypse always had that, like, mutants come first thing, even though he was self-centered about it and wanted all that power for himself. Sinister always just struck me as impossible to get along with. How about we practice the scream the color bird makes? Cyrus says he and Apocalypse like literal social Darwinists. Sam says, yeah, Xavier's always been written as supremely liberal in his views. I think a lot of that stems from the writers deciding to bottle him after MLK in the 60s. That's not true. That's actually not true at all. He was not based on MLK. People make the comparison to him being MLK, but that was never intentionally part of his design. Mimi, to attract it? Yeah, exactly. You read my mind. Wait, we should record ourselves, so we could set a trap or something. That's even better. Repeat after me.
Okay? E. 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 Ha. E. 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 Okay? E. E.
Wow, you're so much better than this than I am.
Okay.
Cyrus says true, he's not really MLK, because if he was, then Xavier wouldn't be playing respectability. 100%. Because MLK was not about respectability politics. I mean, people like to cherry pick the speeches that make them feel the most comfortable with MLK historically, but he was very much not about respectability politics. He was definitely out there with a mission, with a goal in mind, and by the time he was eventually assassinated, he was already full-blown a socialist and advocating for things that went far beyond anything liberal. I think that that depiction of MLK as being respectable comes from a very, to be perfectly blunt, a white analysis of comparing him to Malcolm X, and a cherry picking of his speeches by white people to look at him as the quote-unquote good one. You know, he just wanted everybody to get along, as opposed to the separatist movement that Malcolm X presented, which is not entirely accurate either. You collected a new sound.
This is so beautiful.
The first stars will be coming out soon.
Oh no! I have to go. See you tomorrow!
Because tomorrow we're hunting the Coulebre!
Culabra.
Listen to yourself. It sounds like I was a monster. I worked, Fabrice, and oh my God, who says that to their mother? What has Mimi got to do with this? She's independent and she's having fun here.
Hey, sweetie, you're back. How about some cocoa outside? Yeah, I'll join you on the garden table. Sam says, I heard that Magneto and Xavier were created prior to the Civil Rights Movement, and then the movement got big and the writers started shifting their presentation to resemble Malcolm X and MLK respectively. Not at all. There's definitely records of both of the creators of the characters and the writers of them in the 60s flat out stating that they were not inspired in any way by Malcolm X and MLK or the Black Liberation Movement. That of course there were parallels and adjacently relative topics, because they were talking about these characters that were an oppressed group within society, but they were not explicitly tied to those two. That is a thing that people have tried to latch onto those characters after. Because, again, if they were trying to depict MLK through Xavier, they did a really bad job. I think it's a similarity that people who have a misunderstanding of who MLK and Malcolm X were read into, yeah. The pie we cooked last night was so good. I'm sure Mom would have loved it. Pantry, this little corner of the kitchen's still very scary to me. Maybe Grandma could turn this into a little greenhouse. I hope you're doing okay, little one. Just making sure there's nothing else before we, I think I remember Grandpa and Grandma sitting here with me. We're so much better outside. Yeah, it's pretty cool to sit down. It's very chilly. We'd better make sure you don't catch a cold. Thank you, Grandma. This scarf is so soft. So you sneaked out today. I should be crossed with you. But you aren't? No, as long as you answered 3 of my questions. Where did you go? A cave. A cave? There's lots of them around here. Fine, but why did you go there? To have adventures. Adventures, yes, that's a word I love. More importantly, how did you feel about today? Free. Free? That's very important. It's my favorite feeling. So, should I punish you? Let me think for a second. Grandma, please be nice to me. Of course I'll be nice. You can explore and travel the world as much as you want, sweetie, as long as I know you're safe. Thank you, Grandma. Yeah? Can we invite... Huh. How was your day? I slept all day, I think. I don't know why I was so tired. Probably that long book I'm trying to finish. And the main character, she is... Oh god. The writer has never met a woman, trust me. No, that's so real. There are moments where sometimes I find myself with a piece of media, like a video game or a book, and I just look at it and I'm like, the person who has like made this has clearly no idea what a woman is like at all. So I feel her on that one. Cyrus says, seeing the LA protest, DHS is now posting BS on Twitter saying we arrested these people, and to be honest, ICE and DHS think folks are stupid. It's clear you all took random dudes and took the photos. They're getting desperate and pathetic at this point. I need to be honest with you. The amount of people that they claim to be sending in was like 2,000 somewhat people. That's not a police action at that point. That's an occupying army. And I hope that people in LA continue to be fully aware of that. ICE showed up with no badges, no identification, no names on their uniforms, in military gear that was designed for Iraq and Afghanistan, and picked a fight with protesters who, at worst, set fire to a single shopping cart and a vehicle, and were meeting them with tear gas. And this protest that looked like it had maybe 100, maybe 200 people at most, was responded to by having a force of 2,000 people supposedly being sent against it. Because, oh my goodness, how could a bunch of people be standing around protesting? If you want to know what fascism looks like, this is what it looks like. Overwhelming movements of force to make them look strong against a significantly weaker foe that they claim is much larger and much more powerful, because of course the enemy is forever weak and forever strong. we'll crush this force because we're so strong and powerful. But the force wasn't that much of a force in the first place because that's not what they're trying to accomplish. And maybe I should examine why they're getting rocks thrown at their windows when they drive by. And they just declared US citizens as the enemy. Bad move, bruh. What gets me is the fact that you have all these types who swear up and down that they have these, and they're the same MAGA types that are out there that swear up and down that the reason they needed their guns and the reason they needed their weapons and the reason they needed everything was to protect because the government might one day show up at their doorstep and start arresting people and, you know, all sorts of crap. And now that we're here, they are the exact same people calling for the heads of everybody protesting. They are on the side of the cops and the military and ICE and the police forces, and they are absolute hypocrites, and they never cared about the government cracking down on anybody. They just wanted an excuse to have their guns. That scarf, it has to be somewhere inside the house. You have 6 missed calls. Probably Dad calling. It can wait. I've had enough of him for the moment. Oh, we're gonna protect the country from tyranny. We're gonna protect it from tyranny. You have not yet returned the 2 DVDs you rented on 17 September. Oh yeah, I knew I'd forgotten something before I left. At least I have great taste in movies. These forgotten faces. It's a bit scary, isn't it? Cyrus says, I was shocked when a libertarian politician supported the protest and Stephen Miller went wild and attacked the guy, and now MAGA's having another civil war with libertarians. Yep. I remember a sauce, just tomatoes and sage on fresh pasta. Wonderful. My dearest Nora, I read last night the letter your little Mimi wrote to Manuela, and she was over the moon. I hope they will keep writing to each other and maybe learn our 2 beautiful languages. I am very sad to learn about Edward's sickness. I will go and pray for him, even if I understood that he would mock me for being a believer. I will do it for both of us. Do not forget, our home is always open to you. Sometimes the best remedy is a bit of sun, and we have plenty of sun for all of you here in Mexico. With all my love, Isadora, Mateo, and Manuela. It's funny seeing libertarians beefing with MAGA. I mean, that's the thing, right? Fascism always has a tendency to crumble from within. Always. This whole infighting between Elon Musk and Trump, the whole libertarians disagreeing with MAGA, the fact that you have even Marjorie Taylor Greene disagreeing with the Build Better or whatever, the beautiful bill that they're trying to make, whatever the hell they want to call it, the big beautiful bill. Even though she voted to pass it, because now she's realizing that it basically gave unlimited limited access to AI development at the cost of states' rights, which is hilarious. Edward, this is a courteous final warning. Leave our family alone. The way we live is none of your business. We appreciated your hospitality and you took good care of Renaud in the past, but your investigation regarding our religion is going too far. The next time you cross land, we will complain to your academy, to the rector, even to the police. Renaud is not your child. Take care of your own problems with your son before harassing us like this. Hughes and Perret. Walk hard. What is going on? When are you back? This weekend might be our last chance for Belinus. Move away the clothes. It sounds like the parents do not want some sort of deep family secret to get out. Ah.
Wait.
That's Edward. My grandfather and Nora and Renaud. These must be his parents? Edward has Renaud's watch. He probably gave it to... the watch. It is at the center of whatever happened between them. Wait, I remember. The watch, Nora and Renaud. Oh, here we go.
I've gotta go!
Where are you going?
To play outside with a friend.
A friend? I'd better check just to make sure.
Hey, where are you going?
Home. I have to get back for lunch.
Oh, all right.
Don't you have to get home?
Nah, nobody cares about me. I'll stay here, I think. Hey, let's continue our search tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, sure. Grandma? 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 Grandma?
What?
She is
Can you
sleeping an
invite
awful
my
lot.
friend here? Please say yes. He's all alone, and he'll be hungry.
Yes, of course. Why don't we have a picnic outside? It's so beautiful. And we can make something easy to eat.
A picnic! That's a brilliant idea! Yeah!
Could you help me with the food for the picnic? Sure. Jaguar says, sorry for being so quiet in the second half. I'm almost done with my final boss, the case study for one of my classes. Well, I'm glad you're able to get that done. Honestly, I don't mind that people have been quiet. I feel like there was a lot of activity at the beginning, and I'm hoping that some people still just have it on in the background and are just chilling with the vibes, or will watch it later. So I feel like Cyrus and I have been having like a complete nerd out on comic books. No, I'm not upset about that. Just, you know, I'm just having a chill time. The energy has got you hyped to finish the beast of a project? Heck yeah. You got this.
All right. This is our second episode of Bad Books in August with my co-star, Mimi.
Hello, everybody!
So, what are we going to talk about today?
I think it's your turn, Grandma.
Ah, it is. And I will talk about Anna Karenina.
Look at that book, it's huge!
It is, even if only half of it is good.
That's not much. What's the story?
Well, the writer is trying to explain to us that it is important to marry well and to avoid falling in love with a lazy woman who has a lot of issues.
Is that Anna Karenina?
Anna Karenina. That's her name. She's very poorly served by a story where all the choices she makes are the wrong ones.
That is not fun.
You're right, it isn't. And it's very long. Fortunately, the author also likes to describe the Russian countryside. Pages and pages of it. Oh, it's gorgeous.
You're weird.
I very much preferred his short stories. I recommend them. And that wraps up today's episode.
Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to
Bad Books in August.
with my co-star Mimi. Today, you're going to talk to us about a book you had to read.
Yes, Dad forced me to read a book for the summer while I was here in Dordogne. Problem number 1, the book is boring. Problem number 2, Grandma really wants me to read it.
Oh, come on, I'm only doing my duty. Why don't you tell us the story?
This book is about Francois, a boy who is obsessed with a tall, super cool student at a school called Muln. Francois does nothing but follow Muln while he does a bunch of cool stuff like running around and exploring a castle. Like I said, it's very boring. Eventually, Muln gets married but leaves his wife.
Oh, not very nice.
No. Then Francois takes care of the baby. It's, I don't know much about boys, but no boy would ever take care of someone else's baby.
What is your general opinion
Uh-huh.
about this book?
I don't really understand what Dad sees in it.
It's a classic.
Maybe it's a classic because nobody said out loud how bad it was.
All right. I guess it's time to say goodbye to all our listeners.
There is more to that.
Bye!
See you next time.
Hello again. This is Mimi, extraordinary reporter.
What's going on?
Grandma, we wanted to have a discussion with you today about a difficult topic.
Difficult topic?
Yes, the people of France want to know.
Want to know what? Mimi, I was sleeping.
It's 4 p.m. It's snack time. Where are the cookies?
The cookies?
You promised us cookies.
This is really good journalism. Waking me up from my nap and screaming in my ears.
Grandma!
Fine. Let's make some cookies. To the kitchen. And drop that mic. I'm gonna need your help to make them.
That was Mimi, extraordinary reporter, solving another snack crisis for my country.
Mimi!
Coming!
View from up here is pretty relaxing. seeing anything else. Mom never lets me cook at home. Don't worry, I'll guide you. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about my friend before. It's alright, sweetie, as long as you're safe and having fun. I think he's quite different. That's nice to have someone special in your life. Now, the secret to this recipe is lots of heat and lots of fat. The fatter, the merrier. That might be enough fat. Let's season everything with salt and pepper. He should be different places. He knows this region very well. I bet he does. And I think that's enough salt. He wants us to explore the river. We have big plans. Big plans. Good to hear, sweetie. That's good. Into the frying pan. I think you did great. It'll still be warm for our picnic, if we hurry. New sound. You collected a new sound. Follow me. Yes. So what sort of family secret is going on here? I'm getting the distinct impression that they raised somebody here.
Nice. Nice.
She put up with me and my ideas. I think she enjoyed it. It must be so refreshing to have someone like that in your life. Someone who says yes to all your stupid ideas, all your whims.
This is really cool, Grandma. Didn't you call for your friend? Right, I'll call him from the bottom of the cliff. Yo-ho! Yo-ho! I brought lunch. Coming. Why don't you grab some pine cones so we can decorate the picnic? Yeah, he'll love it. This is gonna be great.
So,
He's here because you want to do it. It's simple as that. You must be right. My friend will be here soon. Let's get food out then.
so.
New sticker pine cone. Guess we're ready. He's here. Hey. Hello. Renaud, this is my grandma Nora. Hello, Renaud. I ran as fast as I could. You didn't have to. We've brought some food, but why don't you take a picture first, Mimi? Got a nice one, and this time you're not all blurry. Before you called me, I'm pretty sure I saw something in the water. Did you scream? I did, but I think your scream is much better than mine. What are you kids hunting? The colibri, of course. Of course. Do you think we've got a chance? It can't run away forever. Mimi and I could easily catch it. I have no doubt you'll succeed. When we catch it, I hope everyone will see me pull the serpent out of the water. Is everything ready? Can we start eating? I guess we can. What do you think, Renaud? Grandma suggested we should have a picnic with the three of us. You mind, Renaud? I don't. I know you were a bit stressed about my secret friend, Grandma. I was curious, that's all. Is everything okay? It is. Yes, it is. Let's enjoy the picnic. Do you know each other? We do, sweetie. It's all about the watch. The watch? What are you talking about? A thief and a liar. It's not true. Nobody believes me. Here, I don't care about this stupid watch. Stop. You shouldn't play with thieves. He didn't steal the watch. He told me he didn't. Why would he lie?
Nora knew Renaud, and he knew my grandfather. Something bad had happened between them. I see it now. I ran so fast, and for so long, I wasn't angry anymore. I just felt empty and sad.
Why? Why? Ugh, I'm so sick of this family. I must calm down. I must calm down. The binder. Good idea, Mimi. Good idea.
What, that? The fire alarm? I gotta check. Mr. Edouard Lebrun, the disciplinary board of the Academy of Bordeaux has decided not to sanction you in the Borgard case. Quick reminder, you brought to our attention the bruises and marks on the child. You filed in the case a series of so-called pieces of evidence relating to the secluded and religious nature of the child's family. You requested our attention before deciding to act by yourself. Our own investigation proves that Renaud Bocard was not abused by his parents, and even if they are very devout, like many French citizens, they do not live in seclusion. Your behavior during the case, your repeated visits to the academy, your insistent letters, and the harassment you are putting the Bocard family through, all of this is unbearable and must stop at once. We have convinced the family not to see you, but for your own good and our peace of mind, it is vital that you stay away from the child and his parents. The Dean of Academy of Bordeaux. Could be a fire alarm. Did I leave something on the burner? Nothing strange. Oh, it's somewhere in here. Nicely done, Jaguar. Congratulations.
Damn.
Going to sit on it for a bit and then reread it again later to proofread again and submit. Nice. Congratulations. I know that's a big deal for like getting such a big project out of the way and done. It's the watch. It's fixed now. Did I leave it behind? What are these old newspapers under the watch? Flooding of Dordogne, August 1982. It's the last time I was here.
Hey, Grandma. I have to go out. My friend's watch. Well, maybe it's not his watch, but Renault's watch needs to be repaired. I was thinking about leaving you a note, but I don't want you to criticize my grammar. So here's a little message to say that I don't know what happened between Renault and you, but I'm sure you can fix it, one way or another. Just like I can fix this watch. Mom always says that I need to be more like you, and going out in the rain seems exactly the kind of crazy stuff you would do. Sorry I said crazy. Love you, Grandma.
Okay. How is this gonna go wrong?
The rain changed how the world looked. I remember the smell, the mud. The path I once knew like the back of my hand was different. I only had one thing in mind. Fixing the watch. Fixing Renault and Nora.
I think we're about to find out how the kayak got damaged again. congratulations on your replacement therapist, Merchant. You missed a lot of us, King Cyrus and I, nerding out about comic books and Magneto and Xavier. And us talking about LA. Oh. Was that unavoidable? I feel like that was unavoidable. Oh, what is this place? Might explain why she doesn't have memories of this time also. That's the page from my binder. This is kind of what I was getting at earlier with the gameplay, like, kind of having a factor, because you can hear the grandmother calling out for Mimi, and yet we're doing whatever this is. So you're experiencing that call, and you're like, no, 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 I have to answer that call, I have to answer that call, but you literally can't. Jaguar says I need to do some clothes shopping for the summer. I'm not a fan of clothes shopping. I hope you enjoy it more. Oh, never mind, Jaguar. Dragon.
Did you try to sink my kayak? You didn't do it on purpose. I get it. I don't blame you. Could you please?
I think I remember.
Mimi! Mimi! Oh no! Mimi!
Come on, Mimi, come with me.
Come on! Mimi! Mimi! Please! Mimi! Mimi!
No, Nora. Oh, no. She's... Bernard, I'll take care of it. People are gonna blame me. It won't happen. I know what to do.
I drowned here. Almost died. Forgot everything.
The last words. Looks like we're at the very end of the game. It won't bring anyone or anything back, but... Wait, what's that noise? Maybe an animal? Let's find it.
What?
Am I dreaming? Renaud, is that you? Yes, hello, Mimi? Nora took care of me after your accident, and these past few months I've been taking care of her. Exactly. Were you there when Nora passed away? I was. She wasn't alone. She was surrounded by friends. She had a full life of good things, away from her family, away from you. She refused to go against your father's decision. My father, Nora, she forgave him in the end. had to tell you something. I think I saw the Colibri underwater. It was a dream, but... Really? That's something. I'm glad you remember that bit at least. It wasn't your fault. I went down to the river by myself. It's fine now. Nora helped so many people around here, myself included. It's all behind us. She left you this box. She wanted me to give it to you.
Nice.
My teeps.
What?
We made these for the picnic. My little explorer pack. That's my binder, finally. Everything happened centuries ago, right? It did, and yet it feels so close. I can still feel the summer sun. What's this letter? I don't remember writing any that summer. Nora left you this letter. Read it, you'll understand how she felt.
Dear Mimi, I could be writing about how much I miss our days together. I could be crying and going on about how beautiful that summer was and what the following summers would have been like. The years after your father took you away and protected you from me were difficult and lonely. I won't lie about that. I kept thinking about the things I should have done, the things I should have said. But the past is the past. What's done is done. Oh, Mimi, my dear Mimi. I wish I could say these words to you in person, rather than in a letter. I told you once, places, objects, people have many different lives. Life is a long and precious story, so you have to write your own. Explore your life like a beautiful valley on a hot summer's day. Record the colors and the sounds around you like you did back then.
Are you sure it's the same cat?
100% sure. I swear.
Take a deep breath before every challenge and after every success. And more importantly, tell everyone about life, about the highs and the lows. Share it without holding back. My dearest Mimi, I'm sorry. I'm grateful. I'm leaving happy. Your Nora.
Hear the flowing in the distance. Your ears wander at the silence. It's so new.
I want to check something before we go through the absolute ending. Okay, let's do this.
What else can you do? Just capture it. dresses. See them twice as water pauses. It's so new. What else can you do? Just capture it. Don't let it slip with a river. Don't let it slip away your haven.
And that has been
Don't let
Dordogne.
it slip with a river. Catch the wind that shakes the grass in pictures. This ballet of trees in a palette of green. Dance around with the grace of centuries. Don't let it sleep with the river. Capture it. The water runs slow in a tidy bed of pebbles. You go for the throw, see the sky in a ripple. Don't let it slip with the river. Don't let it slip away your haven. Don't let it slip with the river.
I feel like this game captured a lot of deep emotions about like the secrets that we often have in our families about trying to remember that perfect summer. I don't know if anyone else had that like feeling when they were younger of what the perfect summer was going to look like. But I feel like it managed to encompass all of that at once in a very beautiful, nostalgic way, while also kind of showing a beautiful side of family members that maybe weren't there, or that we were barred from, that maybe were the ones that were looking out for us the most. I don't know. What happens if I hit continue? Oh, it's just the credits again. Okay.
Hear the flowing in the distance. Your eyes wander at the silence.
So I know I missed a bunch of stuff. So it does look like I got most of the letters. And I don't know if going back and getting everything unlocks any additional content or anything. I'm gonna very quickly check that. Give me 1 second. Doesn't seem like there's anything else, but I can look more into it and see if there's anything, and if there is, I can always play it during the in between and report to y'all what happens. So what I'm gathering is what happened in this story, just so that we can summarize it, is it seems to me that Renaud's parents might have been abusing him at some point, because it sounds like Edward had found bruises on the child, and there was some abuse going on. And so Edward tried to fight on the child's behalf, and everybody was told basically to back off of what was going on. At the same time, Edward had his illness, presumably cancer, given the remission tape, and probably gave the watch to Renaud, but the rest of the town assumed that he stole it. So he's been branded as like a thief and a liar and all these things. I don't know where the parents ended up, but it seems that after the events that happened at the end of the game, near the end of the childhood section of the game, Nora decides to take Renaud in and accept him. And she probably had that lash out moment at him because she misses her husband, and that was his watch. So, in a lot of ways, these two were kind of connected. I still don't know if I fully understand why the father was so disconnected from Nora. I'm assuming it's over the same topic. I'm just gonna see if anybody else can explain it, I guess. Fabrice and Nora. It just seems the father was kind of overprotective, and this whole incident with Mimi almost drowning seems to have kind of been a final nail in things. Like, there was already Fabrice not getting along with his parents for what are probably beyond explanation reasons. But yeah. Sam says, I was grateful my parents sent me to summer camp. I struggled so much to make friends or socialize at school or home, but the summer camp I went to was very different. Well, I'm glad you were able to enjoy that and were able to go to a summer camp and everything. I feel like that's something that isn't always accessible, but when it is, it's something that people benefit from for the most part, to have a little bit of freedom away from the parental life, as it were. But yeah, if there's anything else I look up and can find, I'll let you all know next time and start the stream with it. If not, next stream we'll start with Staxel and we will prepare for a new game. There may or may not be a vote. I have a couple of ideas going on, so definitely keep an eye out in the gaming section on the Discord this week. And other than that, I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. You all take care. And I'll give you all 5 minutes to kind of meditate on this game and talk amongst yourselves. But with that said, my name is Anarchist Terra. Thank you so much for watching. See y'all next week. Have a good one.